My first year of having my CDL was nothing like I had thought of. I didn't think that was gonna go off. But having my CDL, getting through my first year, I am, as of February, I'm technically 1 year, 4 months, or 1 year, 3 months into actually having my CDL. And that first year, man, it truly blessed. But man, I learned so much, and it was not what I expected. So starting off with my first job, I worked at a LTL company. It's like a less than truckload, they call it. I don't want to put them out there. I don't want them to get on me, but basically the LTL company, I'll call it. I worked there for about 6 months. Yeah, almost 6 months, just about. And wow, it was such a hard time in my life, just because it was a grind, honestly. I wouldn't say it was the worst time of my life by any means, because I'm so happy. I've been so happy ever since I got my CDL. But that first 6 months, oh man, they had me under the runner. I think the best thing about that job was I was local, so I was coming home every day at least. But man, I felt like there wasn't even no point. The amount of hours I was working, I was barely even home. So I started off, everything was good. I mean, it was about 3 weeks training. Obviously, I'm coming fresh out of truck school. In truck school, they really just teach you how to pass the test. They don't really they don't tell you how to actually be in the industry and actually driving for a company. All right, so I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, it's a lot to go over. I learned a lot of things in the 5 short weeks. 160 hours is all truck school was. Trying to learn a pre-trip, trying to learn how to maneuver. We did 5 different maneuverabilities through these cones, and then of course driving the damn thing. So it was cool. I mean, I passed my test first try, so I say my school did good or whatnot. But the 3 weeks working at my LTL company, they really taught me, backing in. Backing in was kind of a struggle. They helped me with that. I learned how to do a tow motor or a forklift, because it was about probably like 60 to 70% of the job was driving, but then you got that 30 to 40% that was on a tow motor, actually like filling trailers, breaking down trailers, so like unloading them and whatnot. And I also had to drive doubles, so I got the regular semi truck plus 2 trailers I'm pulling on the back. So they tell me how to do all that, right? So it's about the first 3 weeks. They teach me how to do everything. I'm in the city, meaning I got local deliveries. All right, cool. Teach me on that. I spent a week doing BS, like computer work. Like, that stuff is so dumb. Like, I don't know who learns anything during that time. I don't even know why companies do orientations like that. Like, we could probably spend like maybe 2 hours. You can give me the whole gist of everything, and then I got to do it. Like, I'm the type I don't learn in a classroom setting. Like, you're taking me back to school. I didn't learn shit that, like after middle school, what did I really learn? Like, school didn't teach me nothing. But they go back to the sitting in a desk and listen to the teacher talk, dudes talking. Like, waste of time, but I was getting paid, so I don't care. Like, they were paying me my full rate, so hey, I'll take it. But we go through that. I spent a week of line haul, which was driving overnight. That's when I drove the doubles. It wasn't bad because I drove longer. It wasn't so many like stops. I probably had like 10 stops in a day when I was in the city. And well, I just go to another terminal, the same LTL company, just a different terminal in a different state. And so I did it. It was cool, you know. That was my first time actually doing like graveyard shift. So I'm working at night. Wasn't used to something like that, but I kind of adjusted. Next thing you know, they're like, all right, how you feel? You good with training? Need another week? I felt all right, you know. Like, honestly, it was easy. I was just dying to be by myself. Like, I hate being with trainers all day and having to just talk about nothing, really. Like, I'm not trying to... Honestly, I don't be trying to make friends at work. Like, I'm here to work, you know, make money. That's why I applied for the job, right? I don't be trying to make friends. I hate small talk. But whatever. So I just want to get done. Nah, I don't need an extra week. Now, this next week, they're like, all right, you're 100% on your own. You're going to be in your own truck and be doing your own thing. And they're like, well, you don't have a set schedule because you're at the bottom. You're at the bottom of the totem pole. Anybody that works for this company is going to know what I'm talking about, but I'll just keep them on the low. So the LTL company, either you're a city worker or you're a line haul worker. Or you're like a swing shift to where the company basically just pulls you in wherever they need you, wherever they're just in need of for that week, right? So I could go from city one week to line haul next, and you know, they could keep me on line, keep me on city. So this first week, it was like in January, I was like fully by myself. January of last year, we have a snowstorm. So usually line haul runs Monday night to Friday night. And we had like it was like a really big snowstorm. And terminals got shut down. I think it was either like a Thursday or Friday night. But they had to make the work up basically. So that meant Saturday night that you got to come in and you know, make up for that day that people lost. So I mean, naturally they got me on city. They had me on city during the week. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm probably not gonna have to do it. And they let me know I'm like number 3 from the bottom. They're like, yeah, you might have to come in on Saturday. I'm like, what? Why? And they're telling me how, well, these people got vacation time and they're about to use it. I'm like, no, are you kidding me? No, they weren't playing. So they called me saying I have to come in. They told me like that Friday afternoon when I got off, like, hey, you got to come in tomorrow night. I'm like, bro, what? And I remember the day too, because it was a playoff game for the Browns. It was the Browns versus Texans. And man, we was about to have all this party or whatever at the house. Browns finally in the playoffs. They're so bad. They're in the playoffs. Like, yeah, we turning up. Man, I was so bummed. Like, that was like my first like real test. Like, man, I just started this place, and what do I look like quitting? You know, because I was like, wow, they just gave me a day's notice telling me I gotta come in tomorrow night. Like, that's some BS, you know? They don't care. Like, yeah, either do it or you ain't got a job. And I remember another guy, he was at the bottom with me. He had to come in. He ain't show up. And I guess they called him. He said, yeah, I quit. I'm not doing that. I mean, at the time, you know, I was like, damn, like, I feel him. But at the same time, I'm just thinking, like, man, this is a sacrifice for my future. Like, I'm never going to, you know, let a company do me like that again. Like, that is honestly, it was some BS. And that was like the first real test. And man, I'm fresh. Sure, I'm, you know, fresh from training, so I'm 100% trained up, but man, I'm not used to doing this. They expect you to be able to hook a doubles trailer. So you got trailer, dolly, trailer, all hooked up, all safe, all good to go. They expect you to do that in 20 minutes. Now, mind you, it's still snowing. We're still kind of in a snowstorm and whatnot. So roads are bad. I remember getting out there, like I was only driving like 50 on the highway when it's regularly like 70. So I'm driving 50. It was pretty bad. Like it was basically a snow, like a whiteout. So you can imagine the day or two before, it was even worse. So I'm getting there. I'm struggling trying to get the dolly in position, line it up. It's cold. It's dark. Obviously, when I get to this terminal, like everybody's kind of like in a shitty attitude. I mean, yeah, I get it, but like, y'all ain't got to be like rude about it. And like, you know, nobody was helping me. Nobody wanted to like lend a hand. Everybody was just like, just mean, low key. I'm like, all right, well, screw all y'all. But I'm struggling. Like, I couldn't get my dolly lined up with the second trailer because the thing was like the snow was like getting thick. Like we had like a couple inches on the ground still. Yeah, they plowed, but it just kept coming. So there's snow again right in front of my trailer where I needed it, and it was hard trying to line the dolly up. Mind you, I just got my CDL, so I'm not that good backing up to begin with. Then you got to be able to back up a dolly, because it goes the semi truck, and then you got the dolly behind it, and that's how you line it up to the trailer. So I lined it up with my trailer, and it's crooked. I cannot figure it out. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna have to get out. I'm gonna have to, like, hand do this, you know. And so like I'm like struggling. I gotta use my back, my legs. I'm sliding. It's cold. The gloves they gave me weren't made for the cold. Like I could literally feel like my first index, like that first half of like all my fingers were like going numb. And like I wasn't on the verge of like crying, but like I was on the verge of like just like spazzing out, just like I was just so pissed. Like I just wanted to. But mind you, I'm like 3 hours away from home, so it's not like if I was at my terminal, I could just get in my car and go. Like, no, I had to grab this trailer. And it probably took me like an hour in the cold, but that's just like one of the it was the start. That was just the start of the BS I was facing like my next 6 months. And like these guys, we got dispatchers, you know, tell us like where we're going. These guys were like, they thought they were so much better than me, like just like on a human level, you know, like trying to like boss me around, and they would always give me bad loads, give me bad routes. And I was bouncing from like city to line haul, and the reason I really hated line haul working at night was because when I come in, all right, so say they tell me to come in at 8, if my trailer's not done, if they're not done loading my trailer, I have to sit in the break room until it's done. And mind you, I'm not getting paid. And like, this is BS. Like, I'm not trying to like, you know, BS with these people. Like, that's all they were doing. And I was like, dude, like, can I go out on my forklift at least and go help them try to break a trailer or build a trailer? And they're like, no, you just gotta wait, you know. And I'm on the bottom of the pole of the ranking, whatever. So everybody else's trailer is gonna get done before me, and I see all these dudes in the lunchroom. Until we're done, until they're out of there, then I can leave. So they had me waiting, like, on average, it was probably a good hour and a half every night. But, well, so say like 9:30 was kind of like the average time it would get done. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just start coming in later. Like, my load ain't ready anyways. But then what, maybe one time out of the week they would actually have my load on time. So they tell me come in at 8, it'd actually be ready at like 8:20. And if I'm not there, they'll mark me, they'll give me a half a point for coming in late. Like, really? So they expect me just to sit there. Like, it's nighttime. It's 8 o'clock at night. Like, I'm trying to switch over my sleep schedule to do this damn thing. I'm waiting for like a city slot to open up. The only time a city slot would open up is like if someone called off, or like not call off, but like vacation. Like these guys that have been there for a while, they had like vacation for the week. So then I would know next week, like, okay, yeah, you can work city. But it was like I just spent, say, like the last 3 weeks doing line haul, working nights. I'm not trying to bounce back to city for 1 week and then I gotta switch my sleep schedule back. Like, no, I was like, just keep me online, because obviously less people want to be working at night than in the daytime. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Man, I was down in so many monsters. Like, working at night, it sucks. Like, I love being up with the sun. Like, especially now. Like, my job I'm at now is way cooler, because I start at 6. I'm kind of tired in the morning, but once the sun come up at like 7:30, like, I'm up. Like, it just wakes me up. I don't even need like caffeine, nothing like that. It, boom, wakes me up. So anyways, like working at night, even though I started doing it, I'm probably like 2-3 months in. I'm getting used to the schedule. Like 3-4 months. I'm used to the schedule. It's just my body we're not made to be working nights, honestly, is what I feel like. Because even though I was probably like the youngest one, mind you, I'm like 22 at the time, I'm working with like these older heads. They're probably like, 40, 50s, and they're switching their schedule up to be working nights. Like, that whole time I'm just thinking like, wow, like I'm gonna put in the work now. I'm definitely gonna be sacrificing now, so when I'm older, like, this dude was like 60 years old. I remember he was a cool dude, but like, he was 60 and he was like dying at night. He was like, oh my god, I cannot do this. Like, I'm falling asleep like at the wheel. He had like many times, it'd be like a couple times a week, he'd have to pull over to the rest stop to take a nap because he was just so damn tired. And I did it a couple times myself. It'd be like coming back, it'd be like on the way back, I got like a 3-hour drive, 3-hour there, 3-hour back, and we're probably on the forklift like 4 or 5 hours. So what's that? The shifts would be damn near like 12 hours, especially with me waiting in the lunchroom and shit like that. Like, it was damn near 12 hours. And so a couple times I'd have to pull over at these rest stops, and I have to order emergency. Sometimes like the highways, they got like emergency braking only, it'd be like 2-hour limit. I had to do those. I had to take like a good half-hour nap, because no matter what I did, no matter what I tried blasting music. I literally had my windows down in the wintertime. Like, I have the windows all the way down, trying to stay up. I be smacking my face, blasting music, and I'm still like my eyes getting drowsy, and oh no, I literally had to take a nap. It was a damn struggle, man. It was such a struggle. And I would express my problem that I was having with the terminal manager, and that dude did not care, And at the end of the day, like, I'm at the bottom, and I hate the way they do their system. Like, they just screw everybody that's at the bottom. And so, if you're there for a couple years, then you're kind of in a good position. But then it's like, that's kind of how they make you stay. Like, CDL was always like a stepping stone for me. It was never, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, honestly. It's a stepping stone to get me to where I want to go. And like, to stay here 2, 3, 5 years, like, no. Just to be in this spot, like, it sucks. But I mean, I went through it. After like 6 months, I got 6 months experience under my belt. I made my resume. I made a resume, kind of just send out some applications, see who would stick. I got a couple hits back, and like, I always had plans on moving. So at worst, I'd be with this LTL company for 2 years. And after 2 years, like, you literally can get into, like, I say like 95% of truck jobs. No lie. Like, that's my main thing. Like, I just need 2 years and I'm going wherever. Like, but when you got 0, it's a little hard, because you're trying to get local. So it's literally a few. 6 months, I was honestly just thinking about, like, if I worked there for a year and then I start looking for something else, then I'd probably have a better chance of actually hitting, if my time at this LTL didn't get any better. But like, I'm 6 months in, it's the same BS. They got me waiting in cafeteria, wasting like an hour of my time. I'm not getting paid. Dispatchers being a dickhead. Terminal manager, he don't really care. Nothing I gotta say, nothing, like, and working at night, it just sucked. Like, I wanted to be in the city, and they didn't care. And they were gonna give me a terrible shift anyways. Once I got, it's like a bid. They said, okay, yeah, once you get a city bid, you should get it before the end of the year. But, you know, you'll probably be starting at like 11. I'd be working like 11 to 7. So that's damn near like a second shift job. So, like, I don't know. That sucked. But this company I found, it was a steel job. It was like a local, small company. I'm literally one of 3 drivers. And I started with them. And so far, I'm like 8 or so months in with them. And I love it. I know, you know, after I get my 2-year experience, even though I'm somewhat comfortable at this job, I could be getting paid a little bit more. But, you know, grass ain't always greener, and I'm not going to trip for it for now. But my first year, it had some ups and downs for sure, especially that first 6 months. I mean, learning how to do like flatbed, that's technically within my first year. That used to stress me out just because, like, I gotta wrap like these steel rods and steel plates and everything like that. And, you know, it just be in my mind while I'm driving, like, man, what if this slips out and I kill somebody? Like, it was heavy on my mind. Like, now I don't even think about it. Like, I know I'm safe. I know my straps are good. I know, like, tarping, all that stuff. I do it good all the time. Like, I'm not stressed about it no more. But when I first learned it, it's kind of a big thing. But yeah, that's just I just wanted to give out kind of my story about how my first year went, getting my CDL, being a trucker, kind of doing the life. It definitely gets easier, honestly. Like, having my CDL definitely changed my life for the better in so many ways. Like, I'm so much happier now ever since I got it, make good money. And, well, I didn't expect my first year to go smooth. You know, I was expecting something to happen. Obviously not how I expected, at least, but I wasn't expecting it to be all like perfect. But yeah, I just wanted to share that, and thanks for listening.